Okay, welcome along to another special edition of More Than a Game podcast. We have a very special guest with us today, Andre, Ricky Daniels, basically from Bendigo Braves fame, but also a very basketball-orientated family. But here's a bit of the introduction to our show anyway.
Good morning.
So we've got thanks for, and welcome along to the podcast, Andre, and also Ricky.
Good morning, gentlemen. Thanks for joining us, Ricky. We really appreciate it, man.
Good morning, and thanks for having me, Tim, Andre.
No worries at all. So I guess that was an interesting day, but where we like to sort of start the podcast a bit is a bit about you, Ricky. Obviously, that's draft night. That's probably one of the prouder moments in your life, I guess.
Tim, but we probably want to pay our respects to the original owners.
Sorry, Andre. Yes, I'd like to pay our respects to the original owners of the land. So wherever they are, over in Bendigo, in Brisbane, and also I'm here in Queenstown at the moment in New Zealand. Yeah. So we'd like to obviously pay our respects to the original owners of the land.
Yes.
So I guess where we'd like to start is a bit about your story today, Ricky. How things all started for you. You were born, is it in North Carolina?
I was actually born in South Carolina, but I lived on the border, North Carolina, South Carolina border. So closest hospital. So only born there. Lived in North Carolina all my life. So.
Excellent.
A lot of good players come out of South Carolina. A lot of good players, obviously from both Carolinas.
Where at?
Now, there's lots of great players come out of both parts.
Oh yeah.
North and the South.
The greatest definitely did.
There you go. The greatest. You talking about LeBron James, man? I thought he was from Akron, man.
He's definitely not from there.
No, he's not from there. Yeah. So Ricky, did you sort of grow up with an interest in basketball? How did you sort of get started yourself?
Look, where I grew up, basketball was all around me. So, I played every sport, like, basketball, baseball, football, track and field. It's just, there was many of my friends, we all loved and enjoyed playing basketball. So we played every day.
What in particular about that game what gravitated you guys? Like where I come from Chicago, it was the weather, and
I think just the joy of being able to go out there and play freely and be creative,
of course.
In so many different ways. Like I played, all 5 positions throughout my career. So just
how tall are you?
6'6".
Okay, so yeah. I would have had to take you down the low post then, man.
I love that. I love that. The post I love.
You played all positions. Did you sort of, as far as when you were a teenager, did you have a growth spurt pretty early on, or were you a late?
I did actually. Year 9, I grew 5 inches in year 9. So
5. Okay.
Yeah, everything changed. Shoes, clothes. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
My mother had a hard time, keeping up with me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you have any brothers and sisters growing up as well?
Yeah, 4 brothers and 1 sister.
Okay.
They all played as well. Played either basketball or football, track and field. So very competitive family there as well. We love getting after each other.
Were you at the middle child?
Yes. Me and my sister. Because there's 6 of us, me and my sister in the middle.
Middle sort of thing, yeah. So, they say a lot of people that come from big families like that. I have 8 children born here in Australia. I wasn't messing around, man. Yeah. I was busy on the court and off the court.
Yeah.
They say kids from big families are a lot more, more aggressive, and as they get older because they have, They used to fight over that last piece of bread, for the dinner table or whatever.
Exactly. That's the way I grew up.
Right.
These kids these days don't want to, they tell you what they're not going to eat and they want to eat a separate meal.
Yeah.
You had to fight over the meal to get that last meal.
Exactly. That was us as well, too. Yeah.
So when you got to sort of high school age, where did you go to high school? And so what was that like? And how did you sort of how did your sort of game develop, I guess, at high school?
I went to West Brunswick High School in Charlotte, North Carolina, just out, like I said, just off the South Carolina border. Look, my game developed as I actually played point guard there in high school as well, and then progressed to, throughout 1 to 5 from that point, because I was a little bit shorter at that time. But when I grew to be 6'6", that's when my coach started shuffling me around to the 5 spot. Look, I love playing the 5 spot as well, because I hated when people scored on me, or scored on others. So anytime that someone was having their way with one of my teammates, I always went to the coach and say, "Can I guard him? I don't care if it was 1 to 5."
You took on those assignments, huh?
And he put me on him because I was willing to take up the challenge. So.
Were you slim, Bill, or you had a little bit of muscle mass in high school?
I was pretty slim in high school, actually.
Yeah.
I didn't put on muscle until I got to college.
Yeah.
So I was very slim in high school.
Yeah.
A lot of people are. I mean, I was slim one day. I used to be slim. but yeah, so
I wish we can go back to those days, hey?
Yeah.
Right.
So I guess the selection of choosing the right sort of college to go to obviously play basketball as well, and what sort of things were you interested in at college as well, other than basketball? But what was how did the sort of decision come around to sort of going to NC State?
Look, that was they were in the ACC. At that time, that conference was very strong. They were sending 5-6 teams to the NCAA tournament each year. They were getting notoriety from the media. Look, we all dream of one day playing at the highest level. So I just thought, look, going somewhere like North Carolina State, you're going to be in front of the spot. You're going to be in the spotlight all the time. You're playing against some of the best players in the world. That was the Grant Hill era. Tim Duncan, and all of those guys. So I just thought that, look, if it's going to be an opportunity, is playing in front of and playing against some of the best talent, and being my hometown state, I just thought that was a no-brainer when they recruited me.
We actually played NC State during my era back in 85. That was my first year at Loyola Chicago. Yeah, we played. When they had big Chris Washburn and young Shackelford was there. Yeah, we played against that. We actually beat them that year. We had a great year that year. We went 26-5 or something like that. It ended up was barely losing to Georgetown in the Sweet 16 that year, 85. We had a nice run. So, we actually came down to Raleigh and tanked.
That was just after they won the championship, hey?
Pardon me?
That's just after they won that championship.
Oh, that was, man, Wittenberg and all those guys, man. Yeah. But who was that? Lorenzo Charles may rest in peace, right?
Yeah. He's no
made
longer
that miracle putback on that short shot from was it Wittenberg or Wittenberg?
No, it was Lorenzo.
Lorenzo. Now somebody shot the little jump shot. He caught it right at the buzzer.
Yeah. I don't even think that shot was remembered. It was just that putback.
Just the putback. So where were you at when that happened? That's a good question. Where were you still in high school, or what was remember? Were you at the game, or what? What was your memories of that?
In '82, I was only 10 years old. I don't know where I was at.
When did you pick up on the game of basketball? I picked up on the game of basketball.
Look, I played basketball back then. I was only 10 at that time. So, I loved the game, but I probably didn't have that vision of where it was going to take me.
Right. So you had no memories of that.
I just loved playing it at that time.
Okay.
Yeah.
You had no memories of that NCAA tournament at the time.
Oh, I do. I do remember the tournament. Yeah.
Yeah, and Valvano running around like a madman.
I seen enough of it. Look, when you go to school there, you're going to see enough of that.
Of course, yeah, man. Valvano, what he's done, what his foundation has done, we must say what his foundation has done for for cancer research and all that. It must be applauded. Valvano. They talk about it all the time, even to this day on those college basketball broadcasts, So may he rest in peace, Coach Valvano, Coach V. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who was your coach at NC State? You were there.
My coach, Les Robinson.
Les, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
What was he like? What was it like playing under Les?
Oh, he was great. He let us play freely. That was the good thing. So,
yeah,
he didn't restrict us. He just said, look, it was basically free play for us.
Yeah.
We were able to create and just play as a team.
Yeah.
We
You
played
started 5 straight away.
Played motion offense.
So, motion type. Okay, motion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you go to starting 5 straight away? Your first year, or you had to work your way up?
I started my first year, but it was only after probably about 7 or 8 games in.
Okay, all right. So you would snatch your positions, huh?
That's right.
Give me this.
Yeah. So looking at the stats that I'd career stats. So 94 and 95 played in started 37 games out of 55 in those 2 seasons. So obviously you had the 2 years there. Then what happened after 1995? Is that when did you because I think you played in Vienna at some stage or Austria?
Yeah, I did. That was when I was here though.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I did in between that, before coming to Australia, I did some AAU tours. I actually came to Australia.
Yep.
Played in Perth against some of the NBL teams.
Yep. Okay.
So
what year was that?
We were just doing a few tours and stuff. That was around the time that I actually had the break. That was in 96, 95, 96.
Okay.
So Andre's still in the NBL then. Yep.
Yeah, that was when they had Blahov and all of those guys was playing.
Yeah, I had a little break. I was with the Bullets from 1990 to 94. And then
so it would have been right after that. Yeah.
Yeah, I had 1 year down in Tassie in 95. And then I became a citizen, Australian citizen in 1996. That's when they took half my brain out. And
then,
no, just kidding, Australian people out there. But I became a citizen. When I became a citizen in 96, they did the dirty on me, man. They came up with this rule out of nowhere saying you have to wait 3 years to play as an Australian. Even though I'm an Australian citizen, I had to wait 3 years to play as an Australian on the team. I still had import status. I'm like, what the hell? Where did this rule come from? And then I waited 3 years to play local state league and all that. And then they abolished the rule after the third year when I became eligible.
When you were eligible.
Yeah, it was great. The rule was gone. So I'm like, was that the Andre Moore rule? I should have lawyered up, man. I still might lawyer up now, man. I got an account right here, so I need a lawyer. You got to find me a lawyer, man.
That's normally the way it works out.
So when did you move to? What year did you move to Bendigo, and then pretty much stayed there ever since?
I got to Bendigo was 1999.
1999. Okay.
Yeah.
So what was it about Bendigo that sort of attracted you to the place? Obviously, you had a great career with the Braves, the Bendigo Braves. I mean, I think you must have played there. How many years? At least 15 to 20 years or something.
Well, I played about 8 years, and then I played 2 at Ballarat.
Okay.
But then now I was coming to Bendigo just to play, maybe a year. Hopefully, I still had the dreams of getting back to the NBA.
Right.
So playing a year or 2 here in Australia and getting back over to the States and trying to make it, from there.
Yeah.
But after that first year being in Bendigo, that was when we had our first kid, Kai. And that basically changed everything. So
of course,
my dreams changed. I didn't want to have to, be traveling a lot, leaving the kids behind and the wife behind. So, or taking them from one country to the next. So I just decided that, look, Bendigo is a great town. They had everything. We ended up buying the business that we operate still today.
Wow. That's the D Club 24/7, is it?
Yeah, D Club Fitness. Yeah. So we ended up buying the business at that time. So we just made it home after that, after having our first kid.
You look kind of diesel in that picture there, man. You look diesel, man. Little weight room session. Now on that note, as we spoke before we went on air about your lovely wife and how on draft night, we'll touch on draft night. She kind of stole the show. How'd you guys meet? You want to touch on that a little bit? And, how long you guys been together? And let's talk about the head of the household there.
We kind of met when I first got here. So it was, I actually was gonna return back to the States after that first couple, because I actually come out in Traralgon. So I was in Gippsland for the first 2 years.
Oh, yeah, Gippsland, yeah.
Yeah, so there wasn't a lot to do there, and
there she is.
I just felt like it was the town was a bit behind what I was used to.
Right. So you're a country boy by heart, or you're more a country boy, ain't you?
Yeah, but I was born. I was close to Myrtle Beach, so it was that's like living in the Gold Coast. So
okay.
There was lots to do. I was country, but only about 35 minutes from everything.
I see.
So I had the best of both worlds.
There you go.
When I come out to Gippsland, I just felt that I felt like I went back, quite a few years.
Yeah.
So I was probably here for about 4 weeks. And I was about ready to go back home. I said, look, I'm gonna head back home, guys. And my teammates said, look, look, let's go to Melbourne. Let's show you more of the country. Let's go have a look at what's the country have to offer. And so they ended up taking me to Melbourne, which is the night that I actually met Brakita in Melbourne in Silver's nightclub of all places.
Silver's, I know that spot.
Silver's nightclub of all places.
Yeah, Silver's.
So I ended up meeting her there, and yeah.
What was your pickup line? What'd you hit her with?
She reckons she couldn't understand me. She said I was that drunk. She couldn't understand me, but that wasn't what she was concerned about. She just said, look, very muscly man. That's all that counted.
I was fortunate to meet a very attractive East African lady who I had 5 of my children with from Eritrea. There's quite a few Eritreans down there. She's from the Melbourne area as well, too, the Port Melbourne area. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
that's where she was actually living as well, Port Melbourne.
Really? It was a small world, man. Yeah. Near Bay Street there?
Sorry?
Near Bay Street, the main little drag there with all the little shops and Bay Street there.
Hang on a second. Something's happened here. Hang on.
Oh, we got a little sound there.
Mouse is frozen on me. Hang on. Sorry.
Yeah. Hold up one.
Sorry. Sorry about that. There we go. It says he's muted. Can you unmute yourself? Yeah, there we go. Sorry about that. I'm not sure if that was me or you, but
no, I haven't touched anything.
No, man, we're blaming you, man. It's not. We got all the technical stuff happening here, man. It's all you, man. But I was saying near Bay Street, she was from Port Melbourne, like my ex-missus Nadia. Yeah, so she was Port Melbourne area.
Yeah.
Maybe with Bay Street there, the Bay area. Bay Street.
Yeah, she was just off Beach Road there.
Oh, I know that. Yeah.
Better.
Okay. Yeah, that's great, man. Great story, man. It's amazing how the man upstairs. Are you a spiritual man at all, in any sense of the word, or?
Yeah, I haven't practiced it, but yeah, I was born that way.
Right.
So my family's definitely a spiritual family, so yes.
Yeah, so it's amazing how man. I guess the man upstairs, or it could be the woman upstairs, leads us to where we need to be at.
Yeah.
So it's a really beautiful thing, man. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So let's I guess let's talk about the boys. So you'd mentioned Kai, he was the firstborn.
Beautiful picture there.
So I'm not sure how long ago that picture was, but obviously that's probably available somewhere. And then obviously Dyson and then Dash. So Kai at the moment, how old would he be? About 21 or how old?
Kai's 21 at the moment, yes.
21. So and what sort of he's obviously plays basketball as well. Tell us a bit about his sort of basketball career growing up.
His journey, yeah.
He's Kai's pathway is slightly different to the other two boys. He's basically the same pathway, but it was a bit more tougher for him. When he came through, there was obviously a good mix of guys that could really play within his age group, which they are with the other two boys as well. But he came through the system with the Bendigo Braves. He started off then with Country Vic, making the Country Vic rep teams and stuff like that.
All right.
But he was more like always the emergency. He was always just outside of that, that 10th pick until his last year in the under 18s. He actually cracked through and made the team. So
great, congratulations to him. Yeah.
He was there, but he was always missing out. I mean, I say miss out. He was still within the team. He was just emergency. He was still training and doing everything with him. He just wasn't there for the for the competition.
Right.
How tall did he end up now? Is he how tall?
Kai's about 6'4".
6'4". Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Dyson's how tall Dyson now?
Dyson's 6'8".
6'8". Yeah.
6'8". So that's a bit
6'8".
of a height difference there. So he sort of outgrew his brother there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the way you see them there is the way they were all the way throughout until Dyson went to Canberra. When he went to Canberra is when he came home, and I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, that's my growth spurt, man.
Yeah. He overtook me and then everyone else. So, but Kai was always, a head taller than Dyson until that, till Dyson turned 17. And that was when he had that growth spurt, which was in Canberra.
So it was about 17. He had that big growth spurt.
Yeah.
Only 2 years ago, really, or just over 2 years ago.
That's right.
Wow.
Yeah.
How tall Dash now?
Dash is 6'3".
Damn. Okay.
And
he's only what, 16
he's
or
been a head taller than all boys at every age. So he's a head taller.
So how tall do you reckon Dash will end up?
Look, he's only 14. He's looking
6'3", 14.
He might even be 6'4" now. He's out of Iowa.
Damn,
he's the same height as Kai.
Wow, man, oh man.
Yeah.
What you guys feeding them? What you and Bikita feeding these kids, man? What y'all been feeding?
You know what? That's the strange bit. They didn't eat much.
They don't eat much. Like nibbling.
They didn't eat much at all. They do now, but growing up, they didn't eat a lot.
Okay, a question I have about the three boys here. This is maybe a little bit jokey or whatever. Where did the sort of names come from? So Kai's sort of like a warrior name, is it? Where does the name, when you're sort of naming Kai, was there an inspiration behind his name?
Look, we were searching names, for kids, and we had a couple names in place for Kai, and I think we might have came across maybe a show or something that had the name Kai, but it was spelled Kye.
Okay.
And so we had a couple names.
And then I guess we're just trying to basically settle a bet here.
Here we go.
Now,
was Dyson named after a vacuum cleaner or not?
Actually, he was. We were actually. I think it might have been Europe. We were in maybe Vienna or somewhere like that, and we saw the vacuum cleaner, and then we saw the bus that said Dyson.
Oh, okay.
And then
There's a connection.
We both said, what a cool name.
It is cool. Very cool name. Yeah.
So
Dyson.
So yeah,
the first vacuum cleaner with no bag and no loss of suction.
That's a Dyson.
Is that
play it again, hang on.
That was an ad for Dyson.
The first vacuum cleaner with no bag and no loss of suction. Dyson.
So
he was actually we did come across the name with the vacuum cleaner as well as the bus, the Dyson buses that
Yeah, I remember another bus. I'm very familiar with the bus.
So when we saw the bus as well, we was like, well, I guess it was meant to be.
And I guess the youngest one, Dash. Now, was he named after the Kardashians retail store? Or
no, he was definitely before their retail store. So I might have to go and see if I can speak to someone and see if we can get a few royalties.
Good point, man. Now, there's a lot of pressure on him, and he has to be pretty quick with that name too.
He was definitely before that. He actually his name come from the Incredibles.
Oh, right.
Yeah. The boys actually named him. So they actually.
So the two older brothers named Dash, is that right?
Yeah. So what happened is the two boys wanted a girl. They wanted a sister.
Oh, really?
So they said, if it's not a girl, we're going to chuck it in the bin. So we said, okay, what can we do to give these kids a bit of input into, into this newborn baby here? And so we said, okay, why don't we go to them and just ask what would they call it if it was a boy?
Right, that's cool. Yeah, that's really cool.
And so Mr. Incredibles was very big at the time.
Yeah.
And Ash is the little kid that was the little quick kid.
Yeah. Right. So you also said it's a lot of pressure on him to be pretty quick on the court.
So the two said, oh, I know, Dash. It's like, oh yeah, well, that sounds like a cool name.
It is. So, you got Dyson and Dash, both Daniel double D's. Who's going to be double? Do you have nicknames at all, or the kids have any nicknames?
Nah, and that was another thing. We tried to make the name short enough to where they couldn't.
They have to be nicknames, yeah.
Have a nickname. But okay. Dyson is called Dice.
Dice.
Okay.
So they still found a way to shorten the name.
They will. They always will find a way, man. I got a question about the whole thing. The Ball family, 3 players. I'm seeing some correlation between the Ball family and the Daniels. Three players that potentially can play professionally. Do you guys draw any inspiration? Do you ever think about that sort of comparison that could probably be down the track?
Couldn't think of myself as completely opposite of the Ball family.
In what respect? Yeah, it's a good point. Okay.
I mean, look, I would love for the kids to get to that level and to play on that level together. But
that's the part I'm talking about. Yeah, that aspect.
I know you're not comparing me to Ball, but
no, you're much more
completely
more talkative and more outgoing and outlandish than him.
But if the kids could get there, and that's their dream in the end, that's their dream. That's what they want to do. We brought them up with every single sport, so they played every sport, and it was their choice what they were going to choose in the end. They all chose basketball. I mean, they all saw me play. So I don't know if that had any bearings.
I'm sure you probably inspired them big time. Yeah.
I don't know if that had any bearings on anything, but I'm sure it probably did. But it was still their choice. I mean, they were pretty good in footy. They played state footy as well.
We're talking AFL?
They all made the state teams.
You referring to AFL?
Yeah.
Yeah, because my son Archie played for Brisbane up until 8 years with Brisbane Lions.
Okay.
Archie Smith.
Yeah, wow.
We're very proud of him. He's about 6'8" as well. He's now retired from that and playing basketball in the local competition here in Brisbane. So but you also have the Holiday Boys too. Holiday Boys, three NBA brothers in NBA as well too. So maybe they can pull that off as well too. They're doing very well.
Because it's one of those it's not an easy feat. So we know that it's gonna. He's got a lot of talent. If he continues to work at it, I can see him, reaching that potential. Yeah. It's more that he's got the drive. That's what he wants. So all I can do is encourage him to continue.
As far as you obviously being connected to the basketball team and these guys, the Braves. I mean, your coaching, were you sort of instrumental in the coaching behind all the boys with basketball? Like, did you sort of show them a lot of the stuff, or did they sort of do a bit on their own as well?
Coaching the son.
I coached them all.
Coaching the son. Yeah, coaching your son.
I've coached them all throughout the years. And more for me as a coach and a parent, I try to keep that separate. So I really tried to work more on them, learning the game and being, playing, not just playing in the moment, actually playing the game before it happens.
I see that in Dyson's
So
game.
yeah, so to make reads and things before it happens, because I know that could take them a long ways in regards to, if you watch a lot of kids these days, they don't play until they get the ball.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, Dyson, obviously, great opportunity with the G League Ignite. I think, how did that sort of opportunity come up for him? He's obviously had the growth spurt. Canberra, you mentioned before. How did the whole G League thing come about?
Yeah.
Well, he was offered to do the Next Stars, NBL Next Stars, and then we knew the G League had just started with Ignite the year before, and they obviously it was a big success.
Yeah,
with the majority of the players that actually went there ended up getting drafted.
Jalen Green, Houston, who's the honest? Right, yeah.
Well, I think it was 4 that year, so basically nearly because they normally bring in about 4 to 5 young, talented guys.
Okay.
And most of the court time is actually going to be, with those guys on the floor.
Great stuff, yeah.
So it was in the end, that's what it came down to. But the offer came, we chased up that offer a little bit more than what it came.
Oh, right, okay.
And that offer coming our way. Yeah. So when the Next Stars was there, we said, okay, well, what other options are there? So Bakita and I was looking into it, and we found, the Ignite program and studied up on it a bit more. And in the end, it just gave us that other option. Yes. So we actually, dug a bit deeper, made a few phone calls and got on to the right people. And then in the end, it was more about, it's going to be Dyson's decision. So we wanted to have those opportunities and have the options, but Dyson to make the final call.
Of course,
on what he wanted to do. So we presented him the offer with the Next Stars as well as the Ignite.
Yeah.
It came down to him playing in the system where he wanted to be. So if he wanted to play NBA, that was going to be more the NBA style of play.
No brainer. Yeah.
He was basically guaranteed to play.
Yeah.
And we saw some some things that in the Next Stars program that didn't work out so well for some of the players, because it's all about win now. The coaches have to win. So if the players the team is not doing that great, then
the Next Stars guys are sitting on the bench. Yeah.
It's most likely that, you got a Next Star that's probably not going to get out there because of his age and experience.
Right. That was smart thinking, man.
Yeah. So he said, we basically went to him and said, look, this is very high level play. You're going to have NBA players that are going to be, up and down within the league, inside, in and out. Yeah. And he basically come to us and said, look, I don't care. I'm ready.
Let's do this. Okay.
I'm ready. Yeah. He said he basically felt that he was ready to take it on. And that's the way he's always been that way. So,
which NBL side would he play with if he'd have stayed here?
Well, the way it works is so the NBL itself selects the Next Star.
Oh, it's a selection process.
And then they are placed within a couple. If they have probably 4 or 5 teams that might be interested.
Right.
And then we could have a little bit of say on where he went as well.
I see. Okay.
But I guess, no one, if you go back just over, a year or two ago, obviously the people in the know would know Dyson, but All-Star Weekend, February, earlier this year.
Yeah, he did well. He played really well.
There were 4 guys on the G League Ignite team that had the opportunity to play in the Rising Stars game. Dyson obviously got picked as one of the 4 guys, and shone. So that really gave him a good jump there, especially when it comes to going up the draft boards and stuff like that. I mean, how did you see that opportunity with that All-Star weekend?
Look, it doesn't get any bigger than that.
No.
That's the big stage.
Showcase.
All eyes around the world is on that event. You got and that happened to be the 75th anniversary as well. So,
of course, yeah.
You got to understand the amount of people that are watching that event globally. And the league is in everyone's, basically there's no one playing at that time, so everyone's
all the spotlights right there.
All the spotlights there.
Yeah.
All the coaches, the eyes are there. All the scouts. So we just thought that there couldn't have been a better moment for Dyson to be a part of that event.
You guys are obviously there, right?
I was.
Okay.
Nikita had just come back, so she was there. She had just come back, and we were a bit short-staffed at work. So
I see. Yeah.
My birthday was in February.
All right.
So Nikita and Dyson had organized for me to come over because I wasn't going. I was like, "There's no way I can get there." We just
I surprised you. Your birthday.
Yeah. So Nikita and Dyson surprised me. With tickets to go to the All-Star game. So
the league didn't throw no tickets at you guys. You had to pay for tickets.
Sorry,
the league they had to pay for tickets. The league to hook y'all up.
No, the Ignite bought the tickets.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It was all business class flight too. So I'm like, thanks Ignite.
You're kicking back, boy. You was just kicking back.
That was the first time I ever flew business class, and I was like, I don't know if I can go back from this.
Good stuff. I love it. That's a great story. And then obviously leading up to the draft, I mean, obviously there was a range of where Dyson was going to get drafted. Once that had all sort of happened. Were there any particular teams that you were hoping that he was going to go to? Or, I mean, I think in hindsight, I'd be very happy in the spot that he's in.
Yeah. Was it
nerve-wracking?
Yeah. The whole process.
I mean, he had a range of where, but there's no still guarantee there. You get to the draft, you get to draft night, there's no guarantee. I mean, but when you're that low, that it's most likely they're going to be selected somewhere. Through the agent, we heard there's quite a few teams that was interested, and they were all in that range. Look, there were some great teams out there that was really, if Dyson didn't get selected with, the Pelicans at the 8th spot, that would have been pretty close, in that top 20 range. That there was a couple teams that still probably could have suited him. But in the end, I think, with the Pelicans and their development and all of that, I mean, I think he ended up in a good spot.
Great spot, yeah.
Players there. Right. I said a good spot, a great spot. So he's got a lot of development coaches around. They're young.
Willie Gray, man. I like Willie, man.
Yeah, the team is more like a team. They have that community feel about them. So in the end, I really believe that it's a team that really suits Dyson because of the youth, and they're really gelling well together, doing things together.
Growing together too. They're growing.
That's right. So when you can get that at a young age in the NBA and then have success at a young age, you can really grow something special.
We haven't really saw. I mean, obviously, one of the skills that really stands out with Dyson is the defense.
Oh yeah,
he's one of the best. Probably if he could be. Some people could say he's the best defender on the Pelicans. He's really a good defender, and that's certainly going to give him a lot of minutes, even as a rookie. And he's been thrust into, even last week he was starting, so he had a 13, 8, and 9 game or something like that.
Yeah, I watched that game, man.
And so he's been, with an injury, only takes 1 or 2 injuries and he's in the starting lineup. So that's really encouraging, as a rookie to be able to get starter opportunities, isn't it?
Yeah, Look, I hope that's not the way he gets there, because you know, I really hope they all stay healthy so that they can actually make a deep run, because they've got a great team as it is. And then him to work his way through. Eventually, but you know, I definitely don't want to see injuries for him to get there, for sure not.
No.
And you know, his personality, his will to want to, you know, gradually get more and more time is going to come through anyway.
Right.
Because he's just a student of the game. He's someone that always, Dyson watches a lot of sport.
Okay.
I'm not talking just basketball. He watched any and every sport.
Does he still watch AFL? Or?
He watched everything. He watched cricket. He watched basketball, AFL. That kid will watch it. He'll watch a cricket race.
So who's the favorite who's the family favorite team in the AFL? Or does he have his own favorite team?
They all have their favorite team, and I have mine.
Oh, really?
They all the kids are Richmond.
Yeah, well, I've got a Richmond.
But I'm a champion this year. I'll let you go and see.
The Richmond hat right there.
I'm a champion this year, so I'll let you figure that one out.
The team that won the championship this year.
That was Geelong.
Yeah.
Oh, you're a Geelong guy. Okay, Cats guy. You're a Cats man.
Yeah. I've been Geelong for nearly 16 years.
Wow.
So you know the Ablett family at all?
No, but Joe Selwood.
Joel Selwood.
They're from Bendigo.
Okay.
He's a pretty cool guy. Him and Dyson, Dash, and you know, we stay in contact on a regular basis.
That's cool.
Okay.
You know, he's been a captain for a while too, hasn't he?
Yeah, like he speaks to Dyson. Dyson, you know, they write to each other now, still to today.
Back to Dyson with the Pelicans now, New Orleans. How is he adjusting? Off the court. How was that adjustment? For getting them organized with living arrangements. Did you guys go down and help get settled in and all that? How's that all going? Off the court.
He's adjusted pretty well. That's why Brakita was there for quite some time.
Okay, she helped
after the draft, and they ended up finding a place for him to live.
Okay.
So it's basically, in a quiet neighborhood. So he's all settled there. It's more, the adjustments are still being made. Being young, being in a country on your own, he's still making those adjustments, but there's not a lot of time,
right?
That they have outside of flying in the stadiums. So they spend quite a bit of time on their own.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's the little time I was in the league. I remember that. Yeah, it was a lot. It was a very lonely process when I was drafted in '87 with the Nuggets.
Yeah.
I remember, we go on the road, and a lot of the team was veterans. I was on the team full of veterans back then. Namely, from South Carolina, we had the great Alex English. He was a legendary South Carolina native.
Yeah.
Who was the team veteran and all that. A lot of those guys were married with kids and all that. And I'm a rookie, so I'm on my own. I got this big suite and everything. I'm like, twiddling my thumb. What do I do with my time? You got to work out what you want to do with your spare time as a youngster, because like you say, it can be very lonely on the road.
Yeah.
They got a lot.
But the great thing about it, when you said you came through with a lot of veterans, they're all within the same age.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
They all, there's quite a few of them that don't have the families and all of that yet. So they're probably, that's why I was saying earlier, it's probably one of the best opportunities for Dyson to have been selected for the Pelicans, because they're young, they're more of a team together, they do things together.
Who's his mate? Do you have one mate on the team, or somebody he really?
He's out with a couple of the guys, a few of the guys, like Jackson Hayes.
Jackson Hayes,
Trey Murphy, and some of the younger guys like
that. Murphy, man, Murphy they got a nice squad, man.
He is. He's 6'10" shooter, 6'9", 6'10", can shoot.
Athletic as well too. He's showing a little bit of his athleticism as well.
Absolutely.
What's your thoughts on Zion, and how is he embraced Dyson?
Well, Zion's with my thoughts, he's a beast. Look, you know, he's I mean, you know, he's definitely the face of the franchise. Him and Bi. There's no limits on that guy if he stays healthy. I mean, you got to think he hasn't been playing a lot of games. He's only on 100 games.
Scary.
And
Scary, man.
And there's no one that can stop him at the moment. So just think when he gets another couple years experience.
Then you got CJ McCollum. You know, he seems like he's has that veteran sort of wise old head sort of wise way about him. So I'm sure he's probably bringing out stability as far as, you know, that veteran sort of.
But that's what makes it so hard. That's what makes it so hard to guard Zion, because he's a good passer. He can attack the basket, but you got those shooters sitting out there that you're going to have to, you know, you can't leave those shooters. So it opens up the lane for Zion. So it's just
he's fun to watch.
He's in a great situation as well.
It's just
and you know, the whole team itself is just, you know, willing passers. The ball move. They all for each other.
And check this out: if the Lakers, you know, they have another slide and they get to the lottery, what can happen?
The Pelicans gets that pick. They get that pick. So thankfully to the Lakers, Dyson's at the Pelicans, Bi's at the Pelicans. You know, and then if they continue where they are, you know, on the path they are at the moment, then they're going to be in that lottery pick for next year as well.
The one beyond the lottery.
So I guess when the youngest Dash sees all this going on, how does he sort of look at Dyson, you know, taking off in his career, and does he sort of want to sort of is he competitive enough to want to be one up his brother, do you think? Or
they're very competitive. They love each other. They're very competitive, and they definitely root for each other. But he said he's going to be better.
Very for each other.
I said, well, you have to believe it for it to happen. So just keep believing it. Dash is a very good player. He shoots the ball very well. He makes great decisions out there on the floors. He's actually plays the point guard. So if he can grow to 6'7", 6'8", I can see that as his advantage. Because he is a very good shooter already. So if you can shoot the ball at that size and play the point at that size, he's a very good defender. So look, if he keeps putting in the work, I can definitely see him there one day.
Great stuff, man.
That's really good. Excellent. No, it's been great to have a chat about you know, obviously your career, and then obviously, you know, the evolution of the Daniels boys, and you know, and Dyson, you know, obviously in particular being drafted with the Pelicans. So that's been very, very good to hear some of the story. Andre, have you got anything else there on your list that you wanted to?
No, I'm just kind of talking off the cuff, you know. Anyway, you know. So how often do you speak to Dyson? You guys on a daily basis, or?
Probably speak to him 3 to 4 times a week.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's the time difference, and then I don't normally speak to him on the game day,
right?
Because he needs to stay focused.
You're right. What about the business side? The business side of things, you know, off the court, you know, the agent and all that stuff. Are you involved in that side of it? You know.
Yeah, absolutely. We were just on that
management of his funds, all that type of stuff. You know, you got to be, you know, part of that, huh?
That was who I was on the call with just before you.
Okay.
Yeah. So we were talking to the agent just before the call. Yeah.
So he has an agent. Does he have how many people in his circle? You know, without being, you know.
Look, they have the agent, then they have his team of people around him for promotional work and stuff.
He'd be a very marketable young man, you know, as well too.
Yeah, he is actually. He's Dyson has great communication skills, and he's easy to talk to about many, you know, about many things. He has interest in, you know, people outside of the game. He loves people.
Yeah,
So
what other outside interests as well too? What other besides basketball?
he loves his fashion.
Oh yeah,
That's
okay.
He loves
Drip,
his
they call it
fashion.
the drip, huh? The
Yeah,
kids call it drip.
he loves his fashion. So we said, look, maybe one day you know, after this first year or two, he wants to focus on playing his game. You know, after that first year or two, if that's what you know, want to focus on, then have a crack at it.
You start his own fashion line. You think we're looking at maybe his own?
I don't know if he's looking at doing anything like that. It's more that, you know, wherever it leads him to, if that's what his interest is,
I got my logo here. I got my thing happening there. You know.
That's your logo, is it?
Yeah.
We trademarked it.
It's from a it's actually a newspaper article, and I we took the silhouette, made it into a logo.
Yep.
Are you blocking the shot, or is it
Could be
Let's
a
think about it. Let's think about it. It was actually a dunk. So the two things I love doing in basketball, being a big man, was dunking it and rebounding. You know, so it could be you know, looked at as either or. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I go by Andre Moore, the Big Feet is my program, FEAT that I run up here.
Yeah.
Clinics and camps and all that type of stuff up here. So it's starting to take off. You know, it's been taking off over the years. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's
and
going well.
Yeah, it's going really well. Of course, Tim here has been very instrumental in helping me out with a lot of things in respect to this. You know, we're working together. We're trying to get some things happening. Maybe we can all collaborate on some stuff, man. I'm all about the teamwork. You know, I'll be talking to you when, you know, after this conversation, we'll, you know, connect and you know, maybe you come up here and do some things in Queensland and come down there in Bendigo and help out with some of the things you're doing down there too. You know, it's all about being together, man. Not being like this, but being like this. You know, bring it together, the brotherhood.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the gym that you've got, D Club 24/7, over 20 years you've had that. I think obviously I've got a few clients that are in different types of gyms and stuff. What do you think makes a gym successful? I mean, what are some of the things that you've done to differentiate from just the usual sort of gym?
Well, we constantly you know, go out, and when we go places, we go on holidays, we visit every gym, so we learn as we, you know, like I said, even on holidays, we're still trying to learn on how this gym operates different to this gym. You gather ideas and everything from just, you know, visiting so many different gyms, as well as, you know, staying up to date with new trends and all that stuff. We try not to get too deep into trends because they come and they go.
Yes.
So we try to make sure that we're solid on being, you know, connected to our people, to our community. So we try to make it more of a community feel more than a gym, more a family.
Great stuff.
So we stay connected with, we call everybody by name when they walk in the doors. You know, it's not a number, not a tag, or
that's a huge thing, man. Yeah.
It makes a difference. So I think just having that element of, you know, and connection with people makes all the difference. And we do stay up to date with, you know, renovations and stuff like that. So it all matters.
Yeah.
It's the environment. The environment has to be right as well.
Yeah, I mean,
you know, if the environment, the atmosphere, the environment, and all that stuff is right, then people feel
the ambiance.
That's pretty big. The atmosphere's got to be right.
So in the 20 years, how many times have you sort of changed the or made the gym have a bit of a refurb or a sort of refresh or whatever you want to call it in that time?
In the 20 years, we probably did it about 6 times.
Wow, that's pretty innovative to do it that many times. That's good. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, we changed the name once. It was, when we bought it, it was Lifestyle Fitness, and we had to stay with that name for 10 years actually, because it was more of a license arrangement that we had. So they were looking at expanding and growing into a franchise, which never eventuated. So after that 10 years, that 10-year arrangement, that was when we changed the name.
Wonderful. Yeah.
Excellent, man. That's been fantastic. I think we might have to wrap things up, but I do appreciate your time. I know you're a busy man. Thanks very much, Andre. Thanks for agreeing to come onto the podcast, Ricky. It's been great, and we'll get this uploaded. It'll be on the YouTube channel. Or share it around. Share it to Australian basketball fanatics and all the other different groups that you might be a part of as well.
You have any final words you want to say to the people? You want any final words you want to say?
Shout outs?
Sorry?
You have any shout outs or final words you want to say to them?
Yeah, I'll give a shout out to my wife, Brigitte, because it wouldn't have happened without her being a part of everything as well.
Yeah, definitely.
To Kai, Dyson and Dash for being great kids. And to, all the basketball communities that's helped them along the way, Bendigo Braves, Country Vic. There's been a lot of, the AIS, NBA Academy. There's been a lot of people that's helped on the journey. So yeah, big shout out to you all.
Beautiful.
All right, I think we'll wrap it up there. Thank you very, very much there.
Thanks, buddy. Really appreciate it.
Fantastic. And no worries at all. Thank you very much.
No worries.
Be in touch with you, man.
Okay.